Well, aha! I bet nobody saw this next story coming. Yesterday, former Democratic presidential candidate John Edwards skated on his corruption charges. And today, lo and behold, we find out from People magazine that his mistress, Rielle Hunter, who was paid off by Edwards' political cronies, has a new book coming out. It's called What Really Happened, John Edwards, Our Daughter, and Me.
Is that with a question mark?
Yeah.
What really happened?
What really happened? I mean, can you say...
Well, we know how it started.
Okay, but obviously, no surprise here. Yeah, oh my gosh, Bob.
Well, we did.
Freewheeling Fridays with Bobby Beckel. Well, we know that she was going to cash in on this, right? And, you know, she's got, I'm sure he had a number of offers from different
I'm not going to buy it.
All right, Ms. Perino, hold strong. Don't buy the book. But I also feel that perhaps people should buy this book to help support the Headband Fund because she's sorely in need of a new one and, you know, give generously. Right, Andrea? What do you think? I mean, you knew she was going to wait for the verdict, right, and then release this.
Well, you wonder, though, if there hadn't been any coordination. I mean, I would think that he wouldn't want her, of course, to release the book during the trial, and it seemed like they kept their relationship on the down low. Now, they say they're obviously not together. There have been photos of them in the South together, but the good news for everybody here is Dave Matthews is now free. Remember, he was going to play at their wedding? So we can call Greg and let him know, because we know he loves the Dave Matthews Band. But I do think it's very interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if John Edwards wrote a book, too. I mean, if she comes out and says what really happened, he's going to have to refute it with his side of the story, which, as Bob pointed out, we pretty much know what.
Yeah.
What really happened again?
Why you love this story a lot, just so you know.
Because I love conspiracies. You know I love conspiracies. And this reeks of them splitting up because they'll sell more books. And after they sell the books, they'll get back together.
You went a step further than I did.
Well,
Days of our lives.
But why didn't she testify? Why didn't either side call her to testify?
Why?
To test the lie?
Yeah, test the lie.
That's what we used to say back in the good old days. Who's gonna get up on the
I don't know. I don't know if I'm the prosecutor. I flubbed the whole case anyway. I might as well.
Why do you put her on?
She could be the most unattractive candidate witness I've ever seen. I mean, you probably could take somebody out of a psychiatric institute and look better than that. But look, we know how it started, as I said before.
Yeah.
And so, you know, maybe she'll tell the story about which night, which hotel, and the rest of it. But does anybody surprised this woman's writing a book? I'm not. I mean, this is exactly what people do. They cash in on bad stories like this. And
like
I'll tell you one thing. I'm not going to read. Yeah, they were pretty good too. They were actually written in English.
Go ahead, Bob Weck.
But I'm not going to buy her book.
I anxiously await the New York Times book review.
Oh, it's going to be stellar.
I'm sure.
Let me tell you.
Fabulous.
Well, this is no surprise though, because Mama just want to get paid. Okay. But let's talk about the jurors, the deciders of this fantastic verdict. Let's take a listen to them explaining their decision today.
Raise your hands if you think John Edwards was guilty on at least some of the counts against him. Okay, raise your hands if you think John Edwards is a bad guy. Interesting.
I think he was guilty, but like we said, the evidence just was not there for us to prove guilt.
I think the credibility of the witness was something that was of utmost importance to us.
Andrew Young?
Yes. I think, unfortunately, that was probably the key part of the miss for the prosecution, because Mr. Harbaugh and Mr. Lowell did a tremendous job, both sets of attorneys. And there were cases that could be built in either way. But when it came down to it, it was a matter of filling in the gaps.
To Ms. Perino. Look at Bob likes to call on himself. I'm like, Dana, are you ready? He goes, you know, well.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Go right ahead.
Well, I don't have a question.
The question is, do you think there's going to be a retrial, especially now? Because yesterday people were saying, oh my gosh, no way, they spent so much money on this. But if you hear that, they all thought
he was guilty. I think that the Justice Department is going to say, let's just pretend this never happened. However, there's this one small matter. So this money was paid, so it was either a gift or it was not a gift. Was it taxable? Should someone have paid taxes on that? Because if you give somebody a gift in over $12,000 a year, you have to pay tax on that as the recipient. So should he have to pay a tax on it? I'm sure
he probably does. But let's keep this in mind. There were 9 out of 12 jurors who were for acquittal here. There were only 3 who held out. You think with that they're going to go back and retry him?
No, I do not think they were. I was just, you know. giving her a
I just thought it was astounding, though, that the court of public opinion, the 3 juries, as far as a bad guy, if you asked most of us if he was a good guy, I mean, or a bad guy, I think we'd all
How would you vote on O.J. Simpson?
Strange.
I mean,
I think he's a bad guy.
Yeah, and
a pretty bad
he
guy.
was guilty, right? But he wasn't. I mean, in the end, he wasn't guilty.
Oh my gosh.
Was he guilty? Yes.
We're going to get into O.J. Simpson now.
No, listen, O.J.'s very busy going after that murderer, so let's give him a break. Oh, that's right. He's in jail, isn't he, for busting?
Yeah. All right, well, you know what? We don't have time for this right now to revisit Brentwood, but coming up, gender-based abortion is perfectly legal in the United States of America. Why did Democrats in the White House oppose a bill to end it? You're going to hear from them. That's next on The 5.